one of the highest paid sports talk show hosts and television personalities doubles down on his take against the Minnesota Vikings and Sam Darnold, who has resurrected his career through the first 3 games of the regular season. He even had former Minnesota Vikings legend on his show to discuss what's been happening in Minnesota.
What's going on, Big Time? How are you?
All good, bro. If you know I'm coming on the show every Monday, man, how can you start your shows and talk about your shows and not talk about the purple and what they're doing? Now,
Why should I? Why should I?
Oh, okay, that's the kind of attitude we're gonna have. Okay, no problem.
Yeah, because you forgetting who your quarterback is. We talk about Sam Darnold, okay? You can bring up what we've seen over the first 3 games. You giving me 3 games, I could give you 6 years of ineptitude on his part before these 3 games. Right. What's the issue?
Now, I give you that, but I also have seen you through the years change your stripes. I saw you get on the Geno Smith bandwagon after the way he was barraged about his career early. So I do know that you believe that quarterbacks can make a comeback, and especially coaches like we have in Minnesota and Kevin O'Connell, who is doing a great job with the quarterbacks. And also, I've heard you talk about Baker Mayfield, him getting a new life there in Tampa Bay. Neither one of them have the roster that Minnesota has. Neither one of them have the offensive personnel that Minnesota has. So if you're gonna continue to believe in those quarterbacks, you got to give our guys some credit.
I feel you on that. All right, give him a little credit. I'll give him a little bit of credit.
So Stephen A. Smith doubles down on his disbelief in Minnesota Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold. And I get why passionate Minnesota Vikings fans are offended. Well, not really. I never understand why sports fans get offended by sports talk show hosts who go on these things to make a living and share their opinion. There are a lot of reasons to not believe in Sam Darnold after 3 games for the Minnesota Vikings. He's shown 6 years of bouncing around the league. And why Chris Carter is responding the way he's responding, and why Minnesota Vikings fans are continuing to put their hope and faith in Sam Darnold, me included. Well, one, we have no other choice. We're not going to put our hope and faith in Nick Mullins, and he has started the season 3-0. He leads the NFL in touchdown passes, and we have never seen Sam Darnold perform this way in his entire NFL career. And we are finally witnessing why Sam Darnold was held to such a high standard when he was drafted in the top 3 of the NFL draft years ago. And we are finally witnessing a head coach that is getting the most out of his quarterback. But it's not just the head coach getting the most out of the quarterback. And I think this is where Stephen A. Smith's concern comes in. Everything is going perfectly for the Minnesota Vikings, almost too perfectly. Special teams has been good. The defense has been one of the best defenses in the league, if not the best. The offensive line, besides Ed Ingram at the right guard position, has been amazing this season. And they've done this without T.J. Hawkinson, Jordan Addison. You know, there's a line from the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I think it's the Secret of the Ooze movie back in the 1990s. They're walking around and they're saying, it's really quiet around here. A little too quiet. And then they see their buddy Raph, who is tied up to a pole to try to trick the Ninja Turtles to go get him, and then they lift him up in a net. And when they see Raph, they say, it's Raph. A little too Raph. It's one of my favorite lines ever in movie history. And that's kind of the deal with Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold is playing so good that it almost seems a little too good. Sam Darnold has been so lights out, besides 2 interceptions this year. One didn't matter. The second one, Fred Warner just made a spectacular play. That it's like, okay, when are things going to go back to normal? Or will they ever go back to normal? I mean, in 2017, 2018, whenever the Minnesota Vikings made their run with Case Keenum didn't go back to normal until the following season when he was signed by the Denver Broncos. He was in a great situation with Mike Zimmer, and Zimmer's defense carried him, and he made enough throws to the Diggs and the Thielens of the world to win games for the Minnesota Vikings football team. 2009, Brett Favre was sensational. He had he had shining moments with the Minnesota Vikings over and over and over again. Of course, he retires again, comes back in 2010, and just wasn't the same. The magic wasn't there. Sometimes you just cannot describe why things are happening and why things are happening the way they are. The question that needs to be answered is, will the magic that Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings collectively, offensively, defensively, and special teams continue throughout the regular season? Or are they going to hit a wall eventually and they're going to come crashing down and reveal their true selves? On a first date with someone, you always put on your best act. And, my wife, when I went on our first date, I was putting on my best act. I was good. I was nice. And, I'm a big man on chivalry, which I still am. But nowadays I fart and toot. I poop with the bathroom door open. Sometimes I burp. It's like, I wasn't doing that on the first date. And that's kind of what we're seeing from Sam Darnold. When is the real Sam Darnold going to stand up? Or is Sam Darnold old school and he goes to the bathroom to fart? Is Sam Darnold old school and closes the bathroom door when he takes a dump? These are all things that need to be considered. And Stephen A. Smith is not buying Sam Darnold through the first 3 weeks of the season. And I don't hate him for it. I don't even lose respect for his opinion because it makes sense. It's like, are you going to put all of your chips into a bet that says Sam Darnold is going to take the Minnesota Vikings to new places? That sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? Let me ask you this way. If Sam Darnold was performing the same way he was for the Chicago Bears, Green Bay Packers, or Detroit Lions, would you be afraid of Sam Darnold leading one of those 3 divisional opponents all the way to the Super Bowl? And the answer is no. You would think that he would eventually come crashing down and finally reveal his true self. So Stephen A. Smith doubles down, and it makes sense.